Hi there guys, it's a disappointing weeb here, and today I thought I would share with you my manga haul for the month of April. You will notice it is already May. I've been quite busy this month with work and I'm also preparing to move, so this video is a bit more delayed than I would have liked it to be. But that does mean that some of the things that I've bought this month, of the last few days, are also going to be included in this video. So let's just jump straight into it. And we're starting off with One Piece. So I've started picking up the One Piece Omnibus editions. I'd always been really intimidated by the length of One Piece, and that was the main reason I never bought into buying it before. But I decided, well, the Omnibus editions will mean that I can buy them slightly cheaper, and I can probably get through it quicker as well. So I'm now on the third one, so that is, I think there's 90 volumes out at the minute. So this takes me up to 9, so that's 10% of the way through once I've read this. I've been really enjoying it. It's quite nice to have something that's a little bit less serious and a bit more comical. So that's One Piece. I'm not going to say much more about it because everybody knows what One Piece is. So that is One Piece volumes 7, 8 and 9 in the third omnibus. The next thing I'm going to talk about is this series that I picked up. This has been quite popular with lots of manga tubers. It's called Dead Demons, DDD Destruction. And I picked up volume 1 and 2 of this. It's by Asano, who we all know from things like Goodnight Pum Pum and Downfall. But the main reason I picked this up actually was because I was buying a bulk of another series, and there were 7 volumes of it, and the store I go to has a 3 for 2 offer. And I didn't want to miss out on at least getting a discount on that, so I ended up buying these just to fill out that offer. But I do know it's really well spoken of, and I know that the art's good, and it's by an artist who is well regarded, so I'm sure I'll really enjoy it. And that's volume 1 and 2 of Dead Demons, DDD Destruction. Hopefully I'll be able to share some more thoughts about this once I've actually delved into it. And hopefully the stickers that have been put on it won't damage the front covers. Next up is a series that I really enjoyed the first 3 volumes of, and has really also been very popular with most people that are reading manga, which has meant that the volumes have been harder to get hold of, and that is Spy Family. Spy Family, for me, is something that's very different to what I normally read. It's not a battle shonen, it's funny, I really like all the characters in it. The story is about a guy who is a spy, and for his mission he's got to create a false family, so he ends up making a sham marriage and adopting a child. But what he's unaware of is that his wife is an assassin, and his daughter, who he adopts, is psychic. So that all kind of plays into a slice of life, really-esque series with lots of extra twists and turns. And from the front cover of this, I know that they're about to get a dog, so I'm looking forward to seeing what the dog will bring into that equation too. Really good series, one of my favourite things I've picked up this year, Spy Family, so I'm glad to have volume 4. This next series has had an anime airing this season, so it has shot up in both popularity and infamy, and that is Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagataro. One of the things that I'll say about this is I'm really glad I bought the first 5 volumes of this series before the anime aired, because they are now near impossible to get hold of. This again is something which I thought I wouldn't enjoy, but going in and reading it has been a lot more wholesome than I first expected. Really funny, and I'm really actually quite invested into the characters in the series as well, which is not something that happens with a lot of things that I read. A lot of things I'm very happy to kind of just read as the story, and I'm not too fussed about the characters. But this is a story that has really got me invested into the characters, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how their relationships develop. I think it's definitely something that is worth giving a shot and reading beyond the first volume, because I know there's lots of information about this series of people saying different things about it. It's been compared quite a lot to Uzaki-chan, which aired recently, and I would say that they are quite different series, but I do enjoy both of them as well. But it is going to become more and more difficult to get hold of because the anime is sure to be a massive hit, I think. But I really enjoyed Miss Nagataro, and that's volume 6. I've been waiting for Zom 100 for a really long time. I feel like it was supposed to be released last year, and it's only just been delivered to me this month. I've got to say I really enjoyed this. This is probably my favourite read of the month, Zom 100 Bucket List of the Dead. It's about a guy who gets into a job where he's forced to work all the time and never gets any time off, and it takes over his entire life. And his entire life just becomes working in this job. During the time he's working there, a zombie apocalypse takes place, which means he no longer needs to work. So the story up to now has been about him enjoying himself because he doesn't have to work anymore, despite the fact that the world's been overrun by zombies. The art in this is really, really good. It sort of gives me a kind of High School the Dead vibe, but probably not quite as... although it's definitely adult, and it's definitely got adult themes and adult art, it's probably not quite as fan servicey, is how I'd place it. The artwork is really nice, and it's definitely something that I'm looking forward to getting more volumes of in the future. Another anime that's aired this season and is sure to be a massive hit is Shaman King. Now, I've picked up the omnibus for Shaman King, but I do already own the individual volumes that make up the omnibus when they were first released by Shonen Jump. One of the difficulties with the Shonen Jump release is that I've never been able to complete the set, and there are lots of volumes in that set that are very expensive. So I picked up the omnibus mainly for the purpose of having the complete series in book form. I've got to say, as much as Shaman King is a great manga, and as much as I like the story, I think the quality of this book is really not good enough. And my copy came really dinged up and damaged, falling apart, scuff marks all over it. It's produced by Kodansha this time, and I know Kodansha have been known in the past for not producing great quality manga. The omnibus, though, is quite thick pages. I'd say the pages are not very different to the normal manga pages, but it is really quite low quality. You can see that there's a dip in the spine, and that is the difficulty that you have to take when you're placing so many pages together. When you look at it against another omnibus, so if we take something like the One Piece omnibus, and Shonen Jump are quite well known for dropping in quality when they produce an omnibus, you could see that One Piece is a thinner book compared to Shaman King, and that's because the books that are used by Shonen Jump when they do omnibuses use really, really thin paper, and this paper isn't quite as thin, but it still just doesn't look great, and it's got all these weird blemishes on the cover. I think that they could have done better in how they produced this, and I would have probably preferred buying single volumes, but I think if I had bought the single volumes from Kodansha, if they'd have produced single volumes, I would have kept the Shaman King Shonen Jump ones and filled in the gaps. You can see just by looking at these two covers that the cover here looks really washed out, and it's also a little bit pixelated when you look close up at it, in a way that this one isn't. So I don't know what quite happened with the production of the Shaman King omnibus editions, but they've not printed them in a great quality. So I am questioning about whether I'm going to continue picking up these omnibuses, or if I'm going to just go and try and get the single volumes for Shonen Jump, even though they will be more expensive. So that's something I need to reflect on once I've seen the next volume coming out. But hopefully the next one won't be quite as poor quality. So fingers crossed I'll be more impressed by Shaman King on the next release. Now, this is the biggest purchase, the next manga I want to talk about, that I've made this month. And this is why I bought the Dead Demons manga, because I picked up volumes 13 to 19 of Bakuman. I've not yet found volume 20 in a store, but Bakuman is something that I bought when it first started getting released, which is well over a decade ago now, when I was in college. And when I went to university, it just dropped off the radar for me. But I did start to reread it again, actually not using the physical books I owned, but I was using my tablet on the way to work. And I really got back engrossed into the story. So I'll just show you the covers. Here's volume 13, volume 14, 15, 16, they've fallen off, 17, 18, and volume 19 with the infamous 3 for 2 sticker, which is why I bought Dead Demons. I've really enjoyed Bakuman. It's much more kind of set in reality in a way that a lot of the manga I read isn't. It is slow. I would say the story is really slow. And it's something which takes me a lot longer to get through than a normal volume of manga that I'm reading. That's probably to do with the way that Obata and Oba write their manga. Of course, they also wrote things like Death Note, and a lot of the time when you're reading Death Note, your panels will just be a wall of text. So there is a lot more text in them. In some ways, that might mean that they are more cost effective because they'll take you longer to get through. But Bakuman's something I'm enjoying. I'm not quite sure, being on volume 15 at the minute, what they're going to do for the next 5 volumes. It feels like the story could really do with wrapping up quite soon. The story feels a little bit circular, which I'm sure probably is true for people in Bakuman. They're manga artists, so it's talking about their career, and they'll have one series start, then it ends, then it starts another one, then that ends. So I get that, but I think that although they're trying to be realistic, we could probably do with speeding up the pace a bit. But I'm really enjoying Bakuman. I'd say that I still prefer Death Note from these guys, but Bakuman is definitely something that I don't regret picking up. We're on to the last few volumes now. I'm going to just quickly show you Demon Slayer Volume 20. Everybody knows Demon Slayer. I don't really need to say much about it. I enjoyed reading Demon Slayer. It's another one of those series that I can turn my brain off and just enjoy. I think we've maybe got 2 or 3 more volumes left till the end of the series. So I'll be glad for it to be finished so that my friends who've read online can stop worrying about spoiling it for me. We've not yet had a release for the film in the UK yet. I know that lots of my friends in the US have already been able to see the film, but I am holding off just in case it does come to cinemas. So hopefully I'll be able to see the Demon Slayer movie in cinemas once they reopen over here in the UK. The last manga that I bought is actually Jujutsu Kaisen, and I've got Volume 0 and Volume 8. At the minute I'm picking up these just whenever I see them because they're really, really hard to get a hold of. Jujutsu Kaisen's anime was so good and so popular that the manga is now like gold dust in the UK. I'm missing Volume 7, which is not ideal. I'm missing Volume 9. So those are the 2 that I'm looking for. But hopefully I'll be able to find them in the next few weeks. Hopefully maybe I'm moving to London, so when I'm in London, manga will get a lot easier to get a hold of because there'll be more shops that will have more choice to go through. So that's all my manga. I just want to show you a couple of other things I bought this month, which are related, I guess. The first is that I've bought some more of the Haruhi light novels. So we've got The Indignation of Haruhi Suzumiya. We've got The Intruders of Haruhi Suzumiya. The Wavering of Haruhi Suzumiya. And The Rampage of Haruhi Suzumiya. And I'm not really somebody who is much of a light novel person. I've got a few light novels. I've got a lot of the ones from Makoto Shinkai, and I've got the first 4 Haruhi light novels along with these. But one of the reasons that I've picked these up and I'm wanting to get them at the minute is because I am moving, so my 500 volume plus manga collection needs to all be boxed up, and I assume it's probably going to be boxed up for quite a few weeks, so I'll lose access to a lot of it. So while I can get through a volume of something like Bakuman in an hour, this will be a couple of days to read through one of these. So by having the light novels, it's something that can sustain me as I'm moving along. And the last thing that I wanted to show you is what's been behind my head this whole time. And this is something I'm really excited to have. And that's the Evangelion Finally LP. So this is a soundtrack, and I think it's the soundtrack from the series. I have listened to this on YouTube Music, so I've got to enjoy it. I've kept it sealed for now, just because I sort of feel like this might be a good investment rather than something that I'm going to enjoy listening to. When I've looked at a lot of other vinyls for popular series, they tend to get 1 or 2 print runs and then they disappear. And then something like this, which costs me £17, can end up being over £100 in the future. So I'm probably going to keep this sealed for now. But if you think that I'm being stupid and I should just open it and enjoy it, let me know in the comments and maybe I'll listen to you. So that's the manga haul / light novel haul / vinyl haul for this month. I'm hoping to get some more videos out before I move. And if you'd like to see me open this, if you guys want to see me open it, I will open it on camera. But my videos might slow down over the next few weeks, just while I'm getting everything over here moved and boxed up. If you'd like to see me packing away all my figures and my manga, very happy to do that either on live stream or on a video as well. Let me know in the comments below. But that's pretty much all for now, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye bye guys.